We can see
Okay,
it.
so this is the sales funnel. So this is where you would be sending people to. So then the
So let me
question
give them that, Dennis. Let me give them that right now. And that is at 258-788.com.
258-788.com/HAD demo.
Okay, so this is just a demo site, everybody. So if you go to it, don't worry, you're not going to be contacted by somebody and pitched on something. This will just show you the complete demo that you're going through right now.
Well, I might call you just to say hi. You never know.
Okay, well, if you're lucky. if they put down in the info box the more information, Dennis, please call me and say hi. I'm sure you'll call.
I might. Yeah. Okay. So of course we've got this great sales funnel, but before we show you the sales funnel, the first thing that sort of comes to mind is how do I get people to the sales funnel, right? So if we actually go into the system, so I'm now logged into the system, a demo system, and the very first thing I would do is I would add a contact. So I'm actually adding a person right now that is not me. So it's going to be Craig.
Oh, thanks.
Yes. So I'm actually going to add Craig because he's my friend and he was on my top 30 list.
And you actually know me.
Yeah, I do actually know you. Right.
Master of the universe. I like that.
Kind of thing. So it's actually going to first send you an opt-in email. But I'm going to show you now that I've added you, now I may not add you to that right away, because if you're thinking about it from the point of view, if you've had no contact with the person, you don't have permission to email them, then you wouldn't actually add them to that series right now. You would simply add them as a contact, and then we would jump into here and we would start doing the things that are required to get their permission. So we've got a handy little phone script function here that'll just run you through a really, really simple script that works brilliantly to get permission to get to the next step. So it even puts in, hey, Craig, it's Dennis. Did I catch you at a good time?
Oh, that's fantastic.
Craig says yes. Right? And I say, great. Hey, I was just reaching out as I recently tripped across a business I think we might be able to make a little money with. Would you mind if I sent you some information, take a look, give me an opinion on? I value your business sense and just want to make sure I'm not crazy. It'll only take 10 to 15 minutes for you to help me out. And Craig says, sure. What's it all about? And I say, it isn't easy to explain over the phone, but I have your email. Would it be okay if I shot you over a link to a great system I use to help explain it better than I can? Then once you've looked at it over the next 10 minutes, we can discuss your thoughts and feedback. And Craig says,
I want you to tell me over the phone.
Sorry, it's brand new to me and I just wouldn't be able to do it justice. Maybe you give it a miss for now if you're uncomfortable taking 15 minutes to take a look for the full picture. Sorry to bother you. I'm going to shut you down right now. Goodbye, Craig. Bugger off. You're not the kind of guy I want to work with. Next. Why can I do that? Because I got 299 more people to go on my list.
Exactly.
And what if you said yes? Then basically, great. I'm going to send you a link and give you some information. Okay. So once I've done that portion, then I would come here and say, okay, well, Craig said he was interested in getting some information. So then I'd actually go into the subscribe button and I would add you to the pre-prospecting series. Okay. You're already added, so I'm not going to add you again. So what is the pre-prospecting series, you may ask? Well, if we go into campaigns, edit campaigns. And remember, when you join the HourADay system, all of this stuff is pre-formulated. You pick a template, all this content and everything is already there for you. So if we go into edit emails between the pre-prospecting series, we can actually see what it's going to say. And the very first one is, don't know if it's for you or not.
And it automatically it's macro driven, Dennis. So it's putting my name in and knows what to do.
That's right.
Literally, this is all ready to go out of the box. You're set up with this on the free trial in like 45 seconds. And you can start using it. That's right.
So now you've basically gone and you've added this. They're going to get these emails. That's going to keep pushing them to go and look again if they haven't yet looked. Because, of course, most people say they will and then they don't. So once they've been pushed, they're finally going to click on the link, which is going to take them to dun, 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 your sales funnel. Having trouble making ends meet? You don't need another job. You just need to understand the concept of leverage. Watch this quick video now to see if this might work for you. So we click here. Now the video won't play with sound, so I'm not even going to bother. We'll let it play a little bit so you can see the flavor of it. But notice that it also types all of the words. And the reason for that is then if someone doesn't have the sound on, they can still somewhat understand what's going on. So a lot of times you're going to see words It's a little bit of a combination between a video scribe method and an actual video clip.
Great.
Okay,
Now,
so
normally,
this just goes on.
You've got this set up, Dennis, so that this goes on for the entire amount. Now, normally somebody wouldn't be able to get to the end without watching the entire video, but you've set it up for our demo, so that next button has appeared already, correct?
Correct. This next button is controllable by you by a number of seconds. And we always recommend you set it to 10 seconds before the end of the length of your video. So in this case, it's 4 minutes and 25 seconds. We'd recommend it set to 10 seconds, less than 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Okay, so that next button won't even show up, because if someone's not willing to watch your whole presentation, they've already disqualified themselves. Right? If they're just here to fill in your form and reverse prospect you, we don't want them. We need to protect our babies. So the next button's really critical. You know, prospecting people think is beg them in. I mean, I can get you 1 million prospects. If I offer everyone $100,000 for filling in my form, I can get you 1 million prospects. You just need a lot of money. And that's not what we're trying to do here. You're not trying to beg people through your system. You're trying to pre-qualify them to see if they're interested in something that's like what you do. And if they're not, we want them to go away and not waste your time. So let's click the next button so we can see what happens next. So we now are brought to our survey page, right? Now, we ask for a lot of information on the survey. And actually, I'll do this one as Tina Turner. Yeah, that's good. But Tina Turner has just walked through, and she has a kind of odd phone number. And of course, it's tina@tina.com. And I think she lives in Armenia now. I'm not positive, but that's what I've heard. And I don't have any idea what the city names are in Armenia, and we don't have any provinces for them. And then we actually ask them, so we've actually asked them for their time zone, which most people, this just makes it easy for you, because now you know immediately, which will show you in the contact manager, where they are, so you know when you can call them. So by asking them, they give you that information instead of you having to look it up. Now, we ask for a lot of information. You don't have to. All of this is configurable by you. If you don't like what we're doing, you can change it all around, make it your way. But we ask for a lot of information because, again, we see this as we're trying to qualify. Do I need their country? I don't care. I really don't. Right? Do I need their city? No. Do I need their province? No. But if I ask them for more information and they comply and fill it in, they're showing me that they're coachable. They're showing me that they're interested. They're showing me that they can read, which is a real bonus.
That's true.
And then down here we say, hey, please check the appropriate box. Hey, I work part-time. Best way to communicate, email. Best time of day, noon. None, noon. Questions or comments? Sounds cool, right? Continue. So I've now filled in the form. So as soon as I filled in the form, I actually get a push notification to my phone that someone has filled in my form. Okay, and I can immediately know that they have, so I can immediately pick up the phone and call them. If you call people within 30 seconds of them hitting the button I just hit, it'll blow your mind how much engagement you get, and you'll hear them literally fall off their chair onto the floor. But you know they're in front of a computer or they're on their mobile. You know that they're available because they just spent some time to fill in your form. Call them right away. Don't wait till tomorrow. Okay. And if we actually go take a look at the contact manager in the HourADay system, you'll see that they're immediately added. So we've got Tina Turner in Armenia. And she comes in as a priority 2. Okay, so we bring everyone new in as a priority 2 because a new contact isn't necessarily your most important call to make today. It is definitely your most important to make in real time from the app, but it's not necessarily on your list, the person to call today. You probably already called them by the time you get here. But watch what happens, because now we start the qualification. So we give them a general overview without the use of the company name or the product name. We keep it all blind, and we've captured their attention and they're interested. So if we go back to our sales funnel, they've been said, great, here's my personal information like I promised. So they can contact me right now if they want to. Then we give them a little bit about the MLM secret, which is one of the most innovative ways I've ever learned to show leverage from our mentor, Greg Stewart. Just turned into a real cool video. And then we actually come down and we actually ask them if they qualify. So we make them watch another video to see if they qualify. And that video goes on to ask them a little bit about, do they have money? Right? And some of the questions we asked in the pre-qualification sort of come back up in this video. And then after they've watched this video, they have some options, and they're going to say, for example, I'm qualified. Now, if they click the I'm qualified button, they go off to yet another page that says, awesome, you've self-qualified. We're excited to share more information. Check out my website. If you want, you can get some products. In the meantime, reach out directly. Hey, let's get together and get on this journey together as a team. Now, what's interesting, if we come back and refresh our contact manager, you'll notice that Miss Tina Turner has now turned to a priority 1 from a 2 because she said she's qualified. The reason we don't change her to a 0 to be at the top is we like to keep zeros for the people that we need to call when we expect that we're signing them up. So when it's a closing call, they're ready to go, we like them to be a 0. So we've set Miss Tina to be a 1. But you know what? What if Miss Tina was not qualified and she said, I'm not qualified? Well, again, if we let that happen, it's going to say, sorry about that. Thanks for taking a look. And we do have a little bit of information here to hope to spin her around to see that maybe she is actually qualified. She just didn't think so. Okay. And we've now taken Miss Tina and changed her from a 2, or sorry, from a 2 when she originally was, to now a 4. So we've said she's not interested, so she's not as important as new contacts. She's not as important as qualified contacts. She's less important to call on my people to call today. So you can see now there she is down here as a 4. And the final thing she might say is, you know what? I'm just not interested. All right, take a hike, guys. Now, if she says I'm not interested, again, we say no problem. Thanks for taking a look, right? You said I'm not interested, and we appreciate your feedback. Would you be so kind as to shoot me a quick email on what part you didn't like about it? This is one of the most amazing closing techniques I've run across. You ask people what they hated, and then they tell you, and you know their number 1 objection. Handle the objection and sign them up. So just because they're not qualified doesn't mean they're not interested, doesn't mean that they're gone forever. If that email comes, you know that you have a live one. But in the meantime, until that email comes, because it most of the time doesn't come, they're not interested. They're not going to send you any information. But if they did, you know that they're way back up. But if they didn't, you'll see that now Miss Tina Turner has turned to a 6. Now let's take a look just for fun, because now that we're in, she's got it. It's time to make our calls. We pull up Miss Tina Turner and we see a bunch of information. One of the interesting things we can do immediately is we can assign her to some categories. So, she happens to be a singer. I actually found her from an online ad. She said that she really likes to be contacted by Line or Kick, and she also is an Instagram lover. So I've now assigned all these categories to her. So down the road, when I've found some cool article about Instagram, I could actually send out an email blast to everybody that I've put into the category of Instagram to give that new information. This is important in the multiple touches, getting to know people, making them feel value in having a relationship with you as you're warming them up to your opportunity. So very, very powerful features here. As we scroll down, we can see all the information that was put in during the survey. Follow up. It's telling me to follow up with her on May 26th. Okay, well, let's say that we want to follow up with her. We've talked to her today. We want to call her in 7 days because she is going on tour back in a week. Okay, so we know all of this about her. Interestingly enough, at the very bottom, we can see what answer she gave to the survey. So everything you need to know to take the next step is right here, okay? So if we actually say we're going to follow her up on June 1st and she's going on tour to be back in a week, we can now either update this record, which will just simply take all the things we've changed and update them. So we'll do that. So you can see that nothing really changes except all the stuff's refreshed and the note gets stamped down here. In a second. Sorry, my internet's a bit slow here. Right? So she's going on tour back in a week. So I get her comment. Okay. I could also say wants to meet on the 12th. And I could actually say to make an appointment on my Google Calendar on the 12th. And this will actually automatically add her to my Google Calendar. And now it says, great, we've added something. Do you want to edit it? Because it just adds it in at 1 p.m. So, of course, I want to edit it. That'll bring open my Google Calendar.
Yeah, that's a great feature.
Yeah. And now I can actually reorganize that. So I can actually change the time of it. I can add other people to it. I can email contact to it. So in other words, the interface we already know, we let you keep using. When I'm done, I click save and she'll be added to my calendar. I'm not going to save her. I'm going to delete it.
You're not going to call Tina? Home 12?
No, I'm not going to call Tina. No,
right.
You know, we're not that.
Are you
tight.
prejudging? Are you prejudging?
I am. Yeah. And you can also see that it's added down here so that I can get an easy link to that meeting. So if it's way in the future and I've forgotten when I did it, I can actually click this link and it'll take me there. I've deleted it, so it won't at this point. So again, everything you need is right here at your fingertips. Now, canceled meeting with Tina. And then I can actually say, actually, no, I've canceled that meeting and I want to follow up with her in 7 days. And now I can actually go, and I've got two options. I can update this record and go back to my action list to see who I need to call next, or I can update this action and go to my all contacts list where I can see everybody, even if they're not on my action list. So first, we'll just quickly discuss the action list. So your action list is all of the people that have a next follow-up date set today or less. Okay, so it's everyone that you need to make a physical phone call today. And we've already looked in the contact manager. So there's another way to easily call. So if you're ready to go, if you just click anywhere that isn't the name, it'll bring up the quick interface. 90% of the time when you make a phone call, what happens is you leave a message. When you click this left a message button, it's going to stamp a note that says you left a message. It's going to set you to not follow up with them again for another 3 days. And it's going to send them an email saying you tried to leave them, you left them a message because you tried to contact them, you got their voicemail. 90% of the time you'll get an email response back saying, oh, sorry, in a meeting, can you call me tomorrow at 2? And you just eliminated about 4 ping pongs with telephone tag. So yep. Very, very powerful. Or I can add a real simple note right from this interface and then leave them on my list, or in this case, I've pushed her off my list. So you can either do the simple interface or you can go right into the full contact manager. And then of course, the last thing to show is how the full list of all contacts has everybody that you have versus just the people that are on your need to call today list. So, I mean, that's really the major stuff that I wanted to cover, Craig, on the system, because if you simply know that about HourADay, you are good to go and good to start making more money in your business, even if you don't know about all these other things like mentoring and adding contacts and searching and social connect and campaigns like editing campaigns and emailing group and subscriptions and configuration reminder and the website setup and editing the set and making your own survey questions and landing pages and I mean all of the miscellaneous stuff down here that you can do, like the summary and the insert contact form and the traffic generation stuff. Oh, and the statistics stuff where you can see all the stuff. We don't need to teach you all of that to show you that for $29.99 a month, you're going to make considerably more than that within 30 days by employing this system. It's going to keep you organized. It's going to remind you what you said to them. You know, if we look at someone like George Burns, we can actually remember everything, even if we haven't talked to him in 2 months. And we can see that George Burns, next follow-up day is May 7th. He's a priority 6, which means he wasn't interested, right? And we can see what he answered. He's retired. How can I make $3 million this month? And I can see my last note was he wasn't home. Right? So it just tracks everything, keeps you online, follows up automatically by email. If you're careful about your categories as you're entering contacts, this data becomes ridiculously powerful to your business. So Craig, at this point, I know you use it extensively, so I didn't want to kill the whole time. So you've got 8 minutes to say the parts that you like the most about it. So I'll stop sharing my screen and you want to share yours, or do you want me to just poke around and push? No,
you know what? You know, Dennis, it's great to be able to, you know, to show people that. You know, I've been, you know, I helped to put this together. I asked you to put together for my company, creating templates for those people that are joining us that are that have their own MLM company. They're a leader in their business. They're, you know, they got a big downline. You'll customize, or your team will customize and help them put together a system. If they can prove they got a big enough downline that'll warrant it. You helped, you know, put this together. This is based on what we learned 22 years ago from real life and combining, you know, old techniques and the internet and combining the two things together to be able to make it work. So, you shared the stuff. I think is the most important. Get the system, start using it. You can't break it. Get out there, start talking to people. And if you've got questions, you can connect. They can connect with you or your support team, or they can connect with me.
Yep. Yeah, and remember, the only way to lose money with this system is not to use it. So we welcome your donations. So anybody who would like to spend $29 a month and not use it, I have an excellent deal. I think rather than do that and pay us $29 a month for the rest of your life, you should just send me a check for $1,000 so that it hurts and you never do it again.